This is again about art tracing. And this is another unfortunate scenario where there are some very egregious examples of it. This is a post made by Twitter user Faeble underscore. And they spell it F-A-E-ble. So I'll just be calling them Faeble. And they made this tweet February 23rd, writing, "Did this person just trace my design sketch and render it? This was a free giveaway design I did a while back, and usually I won't let this kind of thing bother me, but other than the face, it's like identical, right? I'm not crazy here." And then they tagged somebody, and the person is Diana, and they seem to be friends, right? And Diana writes, "Oh, wait, no, Faeble. This is a model art I won, a half body model art. I only wanted to also tag you for the gorgeous design credit." So, from my understanding of how it played out, this Diana individual seemed to have won this art piece. But Faeble was like retweeting some posts from Diana. That's because I don't think they're beefing or anything like that. But this is Fable's artwork. Right? Look at the beautiful design. Look at the bear collar with the lace, right? The pigtails, everything, the cute little bear ears. What is this? This is like 1-to-1. Let me just open it up side by side. Look at this. It is literally directly traced over. Like, this is directly traced over with the exception of the face. The face is a little different. The colors are all the same though. It's just they lowered the eyes and raised the mouth. But wow, it is literally the exact same. If we ignore the difference in the face, even the shape of the bangs are exactly the same. It's just rendered. The choker is the same. The shape of the neckline is the same. Even the base colors are the same. It's literally like they color select. Either they traced over it directly or they literally directly colored over this piece. This is wild. So Faeble put out another post, same day but a little while later, writing, "Warning to all VTubers. At Kimi_Kiminari is most likely delivering traced art in their commissions. Please be very wary about commissioning this person in the future. Evidence below." This user was brought to my attention after my giveaway design was credited under a post of a half-body model Kimi gave away. I recognized immediately that the work was traced over and rendered and reached out to the design owner to let them know what happened. So as you can see here in Photoshop, it is directly 1-to-1. Nothing was changed. We have not seen a tracing situation this egregious in a while. But it is like exactly the same. And this being Kimi's artwork, the one that they traced over Fable's piece. Faeble continues, "After realizing this, some friends did some digging into their past works and posts and found additional suspicious behavior, including multiple speed paints which directly showed them tracing over established work or beginning after line art without showing any sketching. The example was a paid commission on VGen which clearly shows the work being traced in the speed paint here." So as we can see here, this is the sketch. Here is the finished project, which is something that they are selling on VGen. So they sell illustrations on VGen, and as you can see, they received a 5-star review for this. This piece was a commission. So from my understanding, the Kimi individual traced over one of Fable's pieces. They traced over this piece. And then Faeble and some friends went and did some snooping and found that a lot of their other work looked suspicious. So this is Kimi's video that they posted on their YouTube. By the way, again, let me just add a disclaimer real quick, but please let's not go send hate to people. At the end of the day, tracing is never okay in my opinion, with the small exception of art studies. But if you do choose to do art studies like this, do not post it. But let's not send hate to people. That only makes us stoop as low as them. If we watch this drawing process here, it looks a bit suspicious to me because it looks like they're tracing over something. Now, the thing they're tracing over could be a sketch they did somewhere else, and then they're tracing over their own sketch, or they could be tracing over somebody else's work, right? That is a little bit harder to tell. Sorry, I just also think it's funny that they drew it like this and they're like, "Nah, full chibi." But yeah, you know, there is something they're tracing over. That could be their sketch though. It could be something they yoinked, right? That we can't really tell. And then here Faeble adds, "This time lapse shows the lack of sketching being shown." So here we can see a sketch and then the finished product. This is the time lapse in question posted by Kimi on their page. Again, do you see this, right? It's blank canvas, poof, completed line art. I'm just saying, right? It's not necessarily evidence of tracing. Sorry, let me explain my words because people get mad sometimes when I explain my thought process when I see things like this, my personal opinion. But, right, if you show a speed painting, we don't see the sketching process. We immediately start with beautiful line art and then you go into rendering. That doesn't necessarily mean you traced, but it also doesn't mean you did not trace. Right? It's a big gray area where it could be one, it could be the other. You could be an absolute goat and just one-shot the line art and it was perfect out the gate. Some people can do that, right? But we have seen that this person has clearly traced Fable's artwork. So if we're looking into past works to now look at the past work and be like, okay, did this behavior continue in their past work? This is not disproving that allegation. Like, we're basically looking for pieces of proof to show that you created the work originally by yourself without tracing. this is not necessarily proving. It's also not disproving it, right? Like, some people can draw like this. Some people also might have sketched somewhere else and then imported it over. If you are under tracing allegations and you don't show a sketching process, it's not going to disprove the tracing allegations. But yeah, here we just see some more of their rendering process, which again, for me, like, the thing is, I don't doubt they rendered it themselves. This clearly looks to be somebody who's hand rendering. Where did you get the original pose from, you know? But again, could be original, right? I am extremely certain Fable's piece was traced. Faeble adds, while this is more circumstantial, I would like to also mention that this user's Pinterest page is entirely filled with AI works with very little consistency on top of their own portfolio works. So if we can see here in their pins, over half of this is AI. Again, it's a little bit harder to tell if I can't zoom in, right? Because this is a screenshot of a Pinterest page, but need I point out all of this stuff on the bottom that's all AI? This is AI. This is AI, AI, right? Some of the other ones might have to look in a little bit more, but she has 4 fingers, so AI. So that's not disproving that either. It's just suspicious. And I do think it's pretty interesting if you go to their page because it says no AI on their page. But if that Pinterest board allegedly belongs to them, it's not disproving. Legato, I think a lot of people are under the impression that being great at rendering somehow means that you can't be a tracer, even though those are unrelated skills. Yep, that is very true. Here's the other thing too, right? Like, there are also people who are very great at rendering and they use their ability to render to hide the fact they've traced. It has happened before. Kind of like, hey, if I add enough fancy shading and shines and highlights and stuff, that you might ignore the fact that this is exactly the piece that somebody else has made. Faeble adds, please do not send hate to this person. Regardless of if they are a real user or not, engagement adds to exposure. And if they truly are scamming people, stealing from other artists, let's not give them more of a platform to do so. And then Faeble adds, oh dear, I did not expect this to blow up. I guess this is the part where I say that if you want to support a real artist, check out my VGen. I have emergency comms open right now if you're indeed in need of some art. It's very suspicious at the end of the day. And then this person writes, for me, if it's not copywritten, claiming AI as their own art or straight up stealing art or concept without credit to the original artist, so what? My little sister traces her art and there's nothing wrong with it. It's when you profit and claim as your own, that's when it's wrong. And Faeble adds, if it were just my work being traced for the giveaway, I would feel the same. Unfortunately, Kimi is profiting off of trace work and has sold commissions that have profited off of it, which is why I feel the need to bring it to attention. I disagree with that commenter's take because in my personal opinion, just because it's not off the cliffs of egregiously bad behavior doesn't mean it's still not harmful or bad in any way, right? Taking Fable's art piece, directly tracing over it, 1-to-1 tracing, and then rendering it, and then giving it away as if it's your own art. Need I explain how that can be harmful to Faeble, the original artist of the piece? Because it was Fable's artwork, Fable's idea, Fable's intellectual property because it's artwork they created, and somebody else is essentially claiming that it's their own with extremely minimal additions to it, with like some highlights and stuff, you know? Again, just because your little sister traces art doesn't mean it's okay. I can make the argument, hey, tracing art for art studies in the privacy of your own home, just to learn, is fine. Don't post it and don't claim it's your own work. It will be harmful to the original artist. Because, and the thing is, even if it's not necessarily like monetary profit, right? If it was like even a free giveaway, people might see that artwork and be like, oh, this was Fable's art. And they might assume that that artist is related to Faeble in some way, you know, like I've basically seen cases of people who have stolen the likeness of other artists by like tracing over their work, and then people would follow the other artist instead of the original artist, thinking the other artist was the original artist, and then that will in turn harm the original artist because that's like lost exposure, lost potential customers, etc. And yeah, this is not the same as tracing like your favorite anime character and your favorite Pokemon from a manga panel and calling it a day, right? This is literally tracing the small artist's work. But yeah, honestly, as of now, Kimi has not made a statement about this. They have not defended their side. They haven't really said anything. All they've kind of done is like drop their VGen and that's been it. So I'm just curious at the end of the day on how this turns out. I feel so bad for Faeble for them having their art yoinked, which is so unfair and it absolutely is not okay whatsoever. In cases like these, the silence speaks volumes if you didn't say anything. And it seems like they've, on their page, I can no longer find that piece. If you go through their media, so I think they've deleted it. If you go through their media, right, that giveaway post is not there. I do not see that art piece anymore. I think because there's nothing you can apologize for, right? It's like, I stole some work. My bad? Like, that absolutely sucks though.